Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Olympus number DCP-US26D. This is a cam lock that happens to be padlockable. So this is neat. You have the ability to lock a door that's relatively small or relatively thin, and you have need for some light security over the opening. You need a cam lock that can operate in different sort of orientations on the door. Doesn't matter. It rotates clockwise and counterclockwise. And you might actually have the need to padlock it with a key that is worked into the greater key system of the facility. It might be small format. It might be large format. It might be an unusual keyway by Falcon or anyone. It doesn't really matter what it is, but you might have a padlock that you want to use. You may have something as simple as, well, we'll talk about where we might use this. Let's take some dimensional properties first. From the underside of the base plate to the inside of the cam, looks like it's 1 1/4 inches. Okay. The way that tail pieces are measured are from the end to its center line, and this appears to be about 1 3/16 inches. And then the width looks like it's about 11/16. And for some scale, the overall height of the exterior side looks like it's about 1 3/4 inches. And then about 1 inch. Nice satin chrome type finish. This is probably made of zinc. I would not think it's going to be made of brass. There's one more dimension that I'd like to give you to help you determine whether or not your padlock will fit. And that's the diameter of the hole that's in here. Looks like you're about 0.3, so 3/8, 0.383, so roughly 3/8 of an inch. Diameter of that hole. Overall height of this hasp or staple area is about 0.43 inch. So about 7/16 this way, 3/8 inside diameter of the hole for the padlock. So that should tell you whether or not what you have will work. This is also going to include a retaining nut. So what you're going to do is remove the tail piece on the back, slide the nut down. If you have a wood application, you'll use the wood washer, and the benefit of that is it will bite into the back of the wood with these tangs that are here and help prevent unintentional spinning on the door. You'll get a single screw, and that is for right there. Okay, so you'll attach it to the face of what you're installing it to. The wood washer might go down, and then for sure the nut would come down no matter what. Let's switch to the screen view and let's take a closer look at all of the supporting information. Actually, let's talk about where we might use this. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. As I said earlier, you might have an application where you have an office, let's say a carpenter foreman's office, and inside of this office, generally you'll have things that should be under lock and key. Tools could be laying around. You might also have timesheets, payroll information on a job site that you want to keep under some sort of basic lock and key system. So this could be something like that for some type of a cabinet. Doesn't really matter. It would be certainly considered low security, but nonetheless, it's no lower security than anything else that you might use on that application. And obviously just turning that allows you to rotate that cam. Okay, so where you'll end up using it, somewhere where you don't probably care too much about aesthetics, but you do have the need to padlock something. And then again, the padlock could come in because you have a key system that you can't otherwise use you have a keying system that you must use, that you must be using a particular key. and there isn't a cam lock available that will take your key system. Well, there may be a padlock. Your high security cylinder manufacturer may make padlocks. I can think of most large manufacturers do offer some type of a padlock because they realize that the need for high security keys and cylinders extends past typical doors. You're going to need to padlock a gate. You're going to need to padlock possibly a cam lock. Let's switch to the screen view and let's take a closer look at all the supporting information. Okay, here's the item that we are looking at. Olympus Lock DCP-US26D cam lock, padlockable, satin chrome finish. Extended description information. DCP cam lock, padlockable. Cam lock for use with padlock as a locking device. Retrofits any 5092 padlockable cam lock latch. We'll look in their catalog and see what that is. I don't know off the top of my head. Accept padlocks with shackle diameter up to 25/64. So 1 divided by 64 times 25.39. I'm going to go with no, because I measured the hole as less than that. I measured it 0.38, something like that. I probably wouldn't exceed 5/16, but I suppose you could get a drill bit and ream that out a little bit if you had to. It wouldn't be my idea of what you should do. Functions on doors and drawers, ideal for locker applications. Yeah, absolutely. Really ideal for locker applications. Maybe a just off the top of my head, a police station changing room where they do have a fitness center, and you're bringing your own padlock. That's all there is to it. Max material thickness, 1.1 Yeah, that makes sense. How you're going to use this based on the thickness of the material, you'll have to think that through, but we'll take another look at that. Barrel diameter 3/4. When you buy one, we'll ship you one. Let's take a look at the catalog pages, and we'll go through all of these documents. But first, let's take a look at the images that we have, the packaging, the contents, and then different view or different perspectives on what we're dealing with here. You may install it that way. I suppose you may install it that way. Probably not that way, but you might. However, you're going to end up installing it. Showing you that hole, showing it open basically at 90 degrees. Threaded body. The backside, the nut, the star washer holding on the cam, just a straight cam, showing you a close-up of the threads. Nice perspective on the face of the cam lock. Another perspective, and then your accessories, those two tangs. That's going to fit that. That's what's called a double D profile. It's just the letter D 2 times back to back. The nut and the screw. The double D will help prevent, as I said earlier, the rotation, because this is flattened. Okay. Now, let's take a look at the supporting documentation. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. Okay, so let's take a look at the catalog page. Oh, great. Yeah, this is good stuff. Locked, unlocked position. Accept most standard padlocks with a shackle diameter of 3/8, which is 10 millimeters or less. Some technical drawings here for your review. Optional cams. This is very interesting. This is probably where you'll order a separate cam based on your application. And what I mean by that is, you've got a jam and you have some application, here's your door, you know, that cam lock's going to have to come through here. It's going to have to get all the way back here. But it could be that the material is so thin that the cam lock just shoots, way overshoots. And that what you need, here's a real exaggeration, what you need is a cam lock that kind of does that sort of business, okay, that offset style. So the point of the matter is, you know the math on the length of the body. You can see the offset, the B dimension. So using that, you can determine what you're going to end up needing, along with the A dimension as well, which would be the length or the reach, I suppose. Straight cams, and you know, I've put these in vices and I've ground them, I've hammered them, I've gotten them into a basic shape that I needed, and it works. So be mindful. I've stacked cams together to get what I needed, whatever the case might be. So there's your catalog, and this is probably going to be a couple, 3 sheets of similar items, which it is. I suppose one that's slightly more decorative, the DCP-500. Yeah, a little different style turn handle on that, or just handle. It could act as a pull, actually, a combination pull. Is what this cam lock would likely act. So let's move on to the next document that we have here, data sheet. And some of this is likely going to be just simply a duplicate of prior information that we've already gone over. Max material thickness, barrel diameter. This is interesting, tells you the different finishes. You can order this in either satin chrome, polished brass, or black. That's what those codes stand for. Shows you all 4 of the finishes here, actually. Really nice. Bumper plates. Ah, yeah, sure, absolutely. You want to keep the padlock from marring the face of your woodwork. A bumper plate might make a lot of sense for that. I suppose you could gauge the overall size of that reasonably well. More cams, the same documentation as we mentioned earlier. Sales sheet, again, probably the same. Wood locker, perfect solution. Okay, you can read through that if you wanted to. Installation instructions. Yeah. So the installation instructions don't really tell you where to drill a hole. You will have to determine that by having the drawing or the physical hardware available to you. It's going to depend on your jam profile. What are you securing into? Is there a strike that's been installed? Is it just a trim? Is it a wood stop that's in the opening? What is the application? Some way there's most likely some way to finagle the cam lock into the application. Moving on, we've got optional cams, and we saw those earlier as well. More detailed of a view on these part numbers. So that would be a good document to review. Okay, there's a link below this video as seen here to the manufacturer's page in our site where you can pull up not only all of the Olympus products we sell by means of this horizontal navigation, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the manufacturer's product catalog as seen here. And I find that an extremely handy document. Extremely handy. There are other people who make cam locks. There are other people whose cam locks you use, or drawer locks, pardon me. What I'm really meaning to say is drawer locks. Lots of people make cam locks, but you might be using someone's drawer lock currently that you may want to be aware of what Olympus has, because I think you're going to notice that some stuff is really identical, except for the price. Sorry about that noise. Olympus is generally more economical and of at least equal quality when it comes to certain cam locks or drawer locks. So as you scroll through here, and if you have more than an occasional need for this type of hardware, you'll want to bookmark this. And if you don't, and you run into it very occasionally, you'll still want to bookmark this, because they have this entire series of these drawer locks. If you're a woodworker, sooner or later you're going to need these. Absolutely. But what's interesting about this is that Olympus, that is, does a great job when it comes to taking other manufacturers' cylinder platforms. So you can order these drawer locks less cylinder. They're compatible with Schlage cylinders. There's a part number for the cylinder. Sargent as well. But then they have this type of cam lock for Sargent, and this type of drawer lock for Schlage's full size. Corbin Russwin, Medico Yale. Medico has their 31 series. It's the same as Yale. Small format. So if it's Best, Falcon Arrow, or any clone copy of it, what's nice about Olympus as well when it comes to Best is they will do non-interchangeable core in Best keyways. So you could have a deployment of Best, a Best keyway at a facility or an installation like a military base, but you don't need them all to be interchangeable core. You've got some cam locks, but you have to use that key system. Well, these might just work. You've got a Best A keyway, which is the most common keyway, which, fun fact, is the Schlage C is the reverse of the Best A. Fun fact. The engineer who drew the Best A keyway also drew the Best C keyway because he moved from the Best company and worked for Schlage. I'm going to guess in the 1930s is when that occurred. Table of contents, obviously. And then scrolling through. Our items are right at the very beginning, these padlockable cam locks. But as you go through, you'll say to yourself, well, what will happen sooner rather than later is you'll get an idea of how their catalog is laid out. The right column is specifications, options, things to be aware of, drawings, a summary, things of that nature. Other variants will be on the same page generally. It's usually contained to one page as well, but really a great resource, the catalog alone. Let's wrap up this video on camera and we'll continue to talk about Olympus as a great resource. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. Okay, now in conclusion, I just mentioned why else these people are excellent. It's because of their support. There's a gentleman over at Olympus, and him and I have horse-traded technical support requirements to each other. He's asked me questions about stuff that he needed help with and answers that I was able to bird dog or chase down for him, and he was extremely grateful. And I've tapped his shoulders a number of times, and the people at Olympus are just helpful every single time. Their lead times are generally quite small, absolutely. If you need 50 of these, this is probably on the shelf ready to go. They keep it simple, they keep it straightforward, they're prompt, reliable, predictable, economical in my opinion, and a superior quality product. If you don't hesitate to consider Olympus. That catalog is a gem, that's for sure. Any questions on the DCP-US26D or any other Olympus product? I realize right now that I did not look up what that 5920 was. Retrofits the 5920. Oh, that was in the extended description. Yeah, 5902. Let me take a look at the catalog and see if that comes up. Retrofits any 5902 padlockable cam lock latch. Aha! Very good, Olympus. 5902 is a CCL part number. 5902 is a Corbin cabinet lock item. So if you were to search CCL 5902, you'll find that the Olympus item is made to apparently utilize the same hole, same preparation. I don't know if there's a problem obtaining CCL items. You might just have watched this video and said, I'm all in on Olympus, and just are switching, let's say, and it's good to know that it will take the same holes as the 5902 from CCL. Corbin cabinet lock is what that stood for. Many, many decades ago, I think it was in the 1950s, that Corbin sold off their cam lock division to someone, but the name CCL is still around decades later. Corbin cabinet lock is what it was. And I believe if you were to go to in my site, and any item that's Corbin, you'll be able to get to the manufacturer's page, and certainly I have older catalogs, pre-mid-20th century. You'll probably find CCL items, Corbin cabinet lock items, in those older catalogs. The first half of the 20th century, the very end of the 19th century likely as well. If you have any questions on this or any other Olympus item, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.